When we put together our seasonal forecast, we generally look at two data sets. The first is our local weather, what's happened here in the past, and the second is changes in global circulation patterns. And by this, I mean El Nino or La Nina, which are fluctuations in the ocean water temperature in the Pacific Ocean near South America. So warmer than normal temperatures here is called El Nino. Cooler than normal water temperatures in this same area is called La Nina. We had La Nina conditions this past winter, and that really is what led us to the extremely low snow totals that we had. So these changes in global circulation patterns have really been the driving force of our forecast for the past few years. When we have one of these conditions, El Nino and La Nina, we have familiar and consistent changes across the globe, meaning we can more easily predict what will happen because we've seen it before, it happens in a pattern, and it gives us a really good guide, a solid idea of what we could see in our weather patterns and our forecast. However, this year we're moving into neutral conditions. So that means we're talking average normal water temperatures in the Pacific. So we don't get any clear signals on what our summer will be like from this data. So instead we had to just look at what's happened here in the past in similar years. We did look at other summers that had neutral conditions, not El Nino or La Nina, neutral conditions, and we found these 10 years. And we actually found a fairly strong trend. In these 10 summers, temperatures were near normal or just slightly below. So you can see right there, they're at the normal level, except for 1 year there. But most of them were near normal or just slightly below, but not by much. The overall 3-month season averaged out to 1/10 of a degree below normal, so very close. We did find, however, that there were significantly fewer days that hit 90 degrees. Some of the years only had one, but really we averaged in June, July, and August 15 days at 90 degrees or above, and in this data set we only averaged 8. When we looked at precipitation, we're talking rainfall, we did find near normal conditions. There were fluctuations throughout the summer months. 7 out of the 10 Junes were really wet, and 9 out of the 10 August were really dry. So it averaged out to about equal, but it did give us some periods of soggy conditions at the start of summer, and then the end of summer was quite dry. So based on this data that we looked at, our summer forecast for 2025 is this. I think we're going to see normal temperatures, near normal temperatures, plus or minus about 1/2 degree on that mean average temperature there. When we're talking about 90-degree days, I think we're going to see fewer than normal, but not quite as low as what some of the data suggested. So I expect 12. We average about 15 below normal. Some of the data suggested well below normal average temperatures. However, because our climate's a little bit warmer, that may affect it. And as far as precipitation, we're looking at near normal conditions for precipitation. But I do think we'll see a wet June, a normal July, and some drier conditions as we head into August. Another thing we looked up was our tornado data. This may be on your mind just because we've had a very active spring so far. In the years that we looked at, those 10 years, there were very few tornadoes. They averaged about 3 a year. And while that's interesting, it doesn't always translate into an expectation or a forecast for this year. There are lots of parameters that go into predicting where severe storms will occur. This year, so far, we've already had 6 tornadoes. That's more than normal, and it's likely that that type of trend will continue. I do want to point out our forecast, our confidence in this forecast is kind of medium. Things to consider when we're basing our forecast here, we base it on normals. Our normals are averages over 30 years. We now know that our climate has slightly changed a little bit. It's a little bit warmer with more extreme weather events, and that may mean looking at just our history may actually not be real helpful in planning out for extreme heat or less extreme heat or precipitation over an entire season. It's something we look at and consider, but we really have to wait and see how it actually plays out. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Thanks for watching. Here's another story you may like, and subscribe to the WSBT 22 YouTube channel.